What's happening, everybody? It's Richard Dixon here. I'm here in the park area of Glasgow, one of my favourite areas in the city, for a very important video. So if you've been following me for the last few while, I know loads of my YouTube viewers are Instagram followers as well, you know there's one car in particular I've wanted ever since I've first seen it. I've tried to get it a couple of times, not been able to get the credit on it, but now, the ripe old age of 23, I can say I own my dream car outright. So this is my BMW i8. Now loads of people still don't actually know what this is, and the car's been out for, you know, a good like 6 years now. So this is BMW's hybrid supercar. Now I wouldn't really call it a supercar. It's got a couple of supercar traits, one of which I'll show you in a second, but I think calling it a supercar is maybe me just trying to like bum myself up a bit. I would call it just, you know, a hybrid sports car. But the one feature that I would say is super carry about this, that every young man wants, by the way, is doors. They go up the way. Loads of people that follow me know I also have an A45 AMG, which I've never done a video on, by the way, but that's about 360 brake, 2 litre 4-cylinder, big turbo. And you might be thinking, especially if you haven't seen one of these in real life, it is actually really big. How does a car this size with just a little bit less power than a, you know, hot hatch type of car, how does it actually go like that fast to call it a hybrid supercar? Well, if you look inside, you go down and you have a look on these bits here, you'll see an awful lot of exposed carbon around the doors, round about here. So if you were to take the panels off this car, it's basically a carbon tub with wheels, and you literally can drive it without all the panels on. I'm pretty sure you can get away with that in America. In the UK that's kind of illegal, but yeah, that's why this car is so fast, because it's built purely on an exposed kind of carbon tub. This car has 20-inch alloys. I don't really know how much that matters. I know loads of people that like change alloys on their cars, regardless of the car, for different ride quality. Any car I've ever had, I've kind of kept the same alloys on it, especially after that time I got 3 points for having illegal wheels on a Honda Civic like years ago. So I think also BMW have got some type of deal with Bridgestone, because you literally can't get any other tyres to fit these wheels that aren't Bridgestone. They're about 250 quid a tyre. It's not really that bad when you think about what some actual supercar tyres cost, semi-slicks and, you know, those ones with the foam inside that never go flat or something like that. But if we come round to the back of the car, now BMW have the xDrive system. That's pretty much their kind of 4-wheel drive type thing. So the M Performance cars don't have that. They're all rear wheel drive powered. But when you look at some of the I series cars like 330i, 335i, all that, they have xDrive, so it's a 4-wheel drive system. Now this car can actually be 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive. So if you're driving it in the comfort mode, it goes on the combustion engine only, which is a bit stupid, right? If you drive it in sport mode, it sounds quite ridiculous. I'll get to that in a second. And it drives in 4-wheel drive. And if you drive it purely in eDrive, which is BMW's hybrid answer to the xDrive system, you can get it 4-wheel drive, purely electric. Now, you might be thinking, as a hybrid, like how much electric mileage do you actually get? It's not a huge amount. I think the most I can get with this car is about 18 miles electric only. But the cool thing that BMW's nav system in this does is if you know, put in somewhere that's like 100 miles away, you put it in the nav system, whatever electric mileage you have in the car, it will use that for the last bit of your journey. So if you have 8 miles of battery power, you can use like 8 miles for the end of that journey, basically, to use up the electric power. So another cool thing about this car is it's like an optional plug-in hybrid. So some hybrids you have to have, you know, a wall charging port at home. Now I live in a new build block of apartments, so it's kind of impossible for me to get that. So that was one of the things that put me off getting the car at first. Not obviously happily, I just thought, well, I can't actually really accommodate for it. But if you drive this car in sport mode, which I obviously fucking do, it charges the battery itself, so you don't really need to plug it in all that much. It's good obviously for the battery to plug it in, but if you're thinking about getting one of these and you think, you know, I don't have a private garage, or I can't afford to get a wall point put in, I don't know if you're buying one of these cars, like affording a wall point would really be a problem, but it's not actually that big a deal. I'm actually yet to plug it in. I've just been, you know, hammering it about in sport mode. One of the things that, you know, I owners laugh about, and if you watch like car YouTubers like Doug DeMuro and stuff like that, they talk about it, is that, you know, with this being a 1.5 hybrid with an electric backup, well, it probably sounds shit. Like if you listen to a Tesla and stuff like that, as much as they're really fast, there's not really much of a sound, right? I don't think you'll be able to get the camera under this, but I'll show you where it is. If you look under here, right, you can see this big exhaust here. But what is also, this is so embarrassing, what is also beside the exhaust for when you're in sport mode is a massive fucking speaker, right? You might be thinking, a speaker, what, do you like play music on it? No. What this car does is it simulates V8 engine noises, so that if you bang in sport mode and you fly down the street, it actually sounds like you're in a McLaren or something that would actually look a bit more like this. So another part of this car that loads of people are obviously worried about, especially if you're a little bit older or you're partial to eating a few more calories than the average person, is getting in and out of the car. Now, I'm young and semi-limbo, I'm reasonably tall, so I have hit my head off the door a few times, but I have actually perfected the technique of getting in the i8, so I'll show you. Don't get excited because you're going to see my arse just now. So, you sit here on the carbon tub, hands forward, slide, there we go. Slide right in, super easy. So, let's talk about the interior. So this specific model has the ivory interior. I do not kill elephants, by the way. It's not real ivory, it's just the colour code they use for the leather. So when it comes to storage space in here, it is pretty much as you expect. So when I first got in the car, I normally like to keep stuff in, you know, the little like compartment in the door. Well, this doesn't have them, because if you open the door, everything would fall out. If you look in here, it is like enough to fit in a phone and a random piece of plastic. I don't know why I've got that. You've got this little holder in here, which is where you'll find your USB and your aux. Nobody really uses auxes anymore because it's not like 2005. And this little bit here is where you'd rest your key, so you don't actually put the key in this car, which is something that's really cool for me. You basically, there's a button here and it will go green if it recognises that the key is inside the car, and then you just basically start it up. Also, another thing, if you're thinking, well, you know, I'm a dad and I have 2 kids and they say the i8's a 4-seater car, so maybe I can convince my wife to get it. I drive quite close up for somebody who's got as long like legs as me, and there's literally no space for a human shin in the back, not at all. But if you pan down here and look down this bit, there's literally like enough space to fit a hand in. You'd maybe get an adult lying lengthways across it, but the most important thing is, if you're a man like me, you can get a set of golf clubs in that back bit. I'm still to figure out a lot about the like infotainment system in here. I like that the car has a digital dash. I do really like that. Before I wasn't too keen on them. I got to drive a Rolls Royce in Dubai last year and I didn't like it because it was just a digital version of a normal dash. It wasn't really that cool. I don't know if you can really see it. You might if the camera's here, but it actually projects your speed up onto the windshield. Don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's quite tough to see. And it also tells you the speed limit up there as well. So it's quite handy if you're driving along and this car's super smooth and you maybe don't realise how fast you're going. The car will tell you to slow down a little bit. Another cool fact about the car is if you have both the doors open, you can actually still drive the car. So obviously you don't want to drive down the street with both the doors open, but if you were dropping someone off to prom or something, a grad ball or something like that, it can be quite cool to do. Another cool thing this car does, so if I put it, you need to press the unlock button to put it into gear, and I'll put it into sport mode. You can hear it change a little tiny bit, but if you press park, you can't actually like sit in sport mode, you have to be driving in it. So if I press park, it just flicks itself back in. That's fucking magic. Like, that is cool as fuck. That was like one of the coolest things I thought about this car. Like when I first seen it, I was like, the gear stick moves on its own?
What?
What? Getting out is a little bit harder. I've got long legs. I don't know if that like helps me or hinders me. Watch out because you will hit your head off here and you don't want to do it. It's quite painful. So I tend to just go here, hands on this bit, fuck, oh, and slide myself out. So something that the people that watch my channel are probably thinking is that I have unfortunately went back on my word slightly. Maybe thinking, God damn you, Richard, you absolute fucking idiot. Now, if you watch my content, you'll have known that I talked about, you know, credit cards and leverage and finance and all that stuff a couple of weeks ago. And I hinted that I was getting a new car. It wasn't meant to be for another couple of months. And I also said that when buying cars, you should try and use finance because it leaves you with working capital. Now, why does that make me fucking go back on my word there? Well, it's because I actually bought this car outright, like I said at the start of the video. So, you might be thinking that's stupid, it's a big waste of money, these are going to depreciate. There's a couple of reasons why I done it. One, BMW have just completely discontinued this car. I don't know if it's because the depreciation's been quite bad, or I don't really know, maybe they just don't like making them anymore and they're going back to making crazy M-Sport cars. But they've completely discontinued it, so I'm kind of hoping that this will almost be like a nicer version of the DeLorean in years to come. Yeah, that bloody woman shouting at me, what the fuck? She's shouting back, I'm scared now. I don't want to shout back. Yeah, so, like I was saying, collectible value. I'm hoping this is going to maybe not appreciate, but hopefully kind of hold its value a little bit. Another reason is I was waiting to organise new PCP. Now, that would mean I'd have to trade in my A45, so there is finance on my A45, and to get a car as soon as I wanted it, I was going to have to do a little bit of prep on the A45. It's got a little wobbly ball joint and stuff like that kind of looked a bit conspicuous. So I need to get that sorted before sale. So when I seen this one come up, I didn't really have time to get the A45 sorted. And you know, by the time you pay a deposit on this car, and I was going to clear the negative equity on my A45, it didn't really make sense. This car's very low miles, it's spec'd out completely, and it was literally the cheapest in the UK and with an extended warranty. One thing that people maybe don't think about is that, you know, like I talk about this when I'm talking about some of our property deals. So when we're doing like a buy-to-let deal and we're wanting to get some money back out in situations where we've added value, you're able to refinance that property. What loads of people don't realise is you can actually refinance cars as well. So it's something that I didn't know a huge amount about, but with, you know, this whole coronavirus thing, lenders, car lenders who are just asset financiers have been doing a lot more to, you know, help people with their money. So what you can do is I could move this car into like my company's name and refinance the asset. So after insurance and all that stuff, this car cost me a couple of quid under £50,000. I got like a really good tracker fitted to it and stuff. I don't know how much equity you can actually get out of a car. They are depreciating assets, so I don't imagine it's like the same as refinancing a property. But if I ever decided, you know, maybe I wanted a bit of money back out this car, I could go and refinance it. So as much as I have kind of went back on my word saying that I was going to finance this car, this one was such a good deal in comparison to the other ones I was looking at that I just had to buy it. So like I said at the start, the park area is one of my favourite areas in Glasgow. It means a lot to me. My mum went to school very close to here, and it's just generally one of the nicest areas in Glasgow. So if you watch my channel because you like property stuff, then this is a great place to be. Amazing period properties. I was very lucky when I was young. I got to work in one of them here as an electrician with my dad for Alan McGregor, a famous Scottish football player. But even when you look around, like over here, the cars here are ludicrous. I actually feel kind of embarrassed. My car's like the worst nice car here. If you look at that lineup, you've got a Continental GT, an AMG GTR, a GLE, you go around the corner, Phantoms, Bentleys, everything. So it is a really nice area, whether you're watching this video because you like cars or you like property. I need to be clear about something here. A couple of people, and by the way, some people on LinkedIn have already said it, no, this car is not brand new, right? But I think for someone 23 years old, working class from Glasgow, no handouts, to be able to buy this car outright at 23 is a great achievement. Now, I'm not saying that to bum myself up. The reason I say that is because, you know, it's achievable. So like I run, you know, events for entrepreneurs and stuff like that. I don't do mentorship or sell courses or anything like that. I literally just focus on my property company, that's it. But all this stuff is so achievable. I didn't think I was going to have a car like this, maybe ever. You know, when I got my A45, that was a dream come true. And now to get this, it just opens other doors of opportunity and it really lets you think in your head, you know, I kind of can do anything I want. People were telling me when I first started doing property, you know, Richard, you're 21 years old, like, no one's going to take you seriously. You've got a tattoo in the back of your head, you wear loud, ridiculous clothes, you've got a fucking nose piercing, nobody's going to listen to you. And you know what, actually, this has all been in my favour because people either really, really love me, so if you're watching this video and you really love me, thank you, you can give it a like and subscribe, that would be appreciated. Or you might be watching this and thinking, this guy's a total fucking dickhead. And you know what? I actually love both of those things. Because the people that love me want to work with me, the people that think I'm a dickhead just stay out of my way. So I'm gonna drive very, very quietly, nice and easily down this road, and I'll catch everybody in a bit. Motherfucker, motherfucker. What the fuck? Right, I'm ready to go. Okay, right, catch you after.